Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good morning. We're going to discuss a homicide that occurred yesterday. On Tuesday, at approximately 10:44 hours, officers were dispatched to St. Joseph Hospital on a code blue 6-month-old child. Upon arrival at the hospital, the officers learned that the child had been brought into the hospital by his mother and father. The initial responding officers learned that the father had told the hospital staff that he was shadow boxing and roughhousing with the child, and that the child had stopped breathing. The child was pronounced a short time later at approximately 10:53 hours. Homicide detectives and EMCU detectives were called to the hospital. Several interviews were conducted there. The father was later brought up to the 6th floor to be interviewed. Late yesterday afternoon, the coroner's office began the autopsy on the child. We learned that the child had severe internal injuries. Early last night, we booked the 28-year-old father into the Sedgwick County Jail for felony murder and child abuse. We plan on presenting this case to the district attorney's office, I believe, tomorrow morning.
How old was the child?
6 months old.
Male or female?
Male.
And this incident actually, do we know exact time of
I'm sorry. I started to. What'd you say?
the exact time this actually occurred, was it Monday then, or Tuesday?
No, it occurred yesterday.
It did occur yesterday
Shortly
morning?
before the child was brought to the hospital.
You said it was around 10?
Child was brought into the hospital about 10, 12 hours.
Morning, right?
Yes, in the morning. I'm sorry.
Will the mother face any charges?
At this time, no.
And what did the father say when they brought the child into the hospital again?
He had told the hospital personnel that he was shadow boxing and roughhousing with the child.
So playing around with the child?
Yes.
And can you tell us, you said internal injuries, what type of internal injuries?
I haven't got them all yet, so no, I don't speak on that right now.
Has mom been interviewed as well?
We spoke with Mom a couple times yesterday, yes.
Do we know if she was around at the time that Dad says he was roughhousing his child?
She was inside of the residence.
Did she witness the shadow boxing or shadow?
No.
Do they have other children?
3 other children. Only one of them was present at the time. The other 2 children were in school.
Can you tell us the ages of the other ones?
I believe 3, 6, and 8.
And what will happen with those other kids?
Right now, the 3-year-old is still with the mother. The 6 and 8-year-old are with grandparents.
Can you tell me what day this happened again? The homicide?
Yesterday.
Okay.
And this will be our 13th homicide
It's
then?
13th.
So they just walked in to St. Joseph?
They brought the child into St. Joseph. The child was not breathing. It was taken in the emergency room.
Both parents were present.
Yes.
And he was taken to the 6th floor, but was he arrested from the 6th floor or from his residence?
From the 6th floor. Thank you.
Appreciate Lieutenant O'Gill giving us an update on, again, the 13th homicide for 2018. Case number on that case, 18C22513. I do have the case available for media behind you after our interwatch today as well. Several cases that we're going to cover today, actually 4 different ones: an armed robbery in the 900 block of South Woodlawn, an aggravated battery of a firearms that occurred early this morning on East Arnold. Talk about an attempt carjacking that occurred yesterday morning with an arrest, and then also an arrest involving a battery of a law enforcement officer that occurred in the 7600 block of East Kellogg again yesterday as well. So let's get right to it today. The armed robbery, case number 18C22670, occurred in the 900 block of South Woodlawn at about 9:50 last night. On Tuesday, April 10th at approximately 9:50, officers responded to an armed robbery at the F&K liquor store located in the 900 block of South Woodlawn. When officers arrived, they made contact with a 28-year-old female employee who stated that 2 unknown suspects entered the business, and one of these suspects brandished a handgun and was demanding cash. Money was taken by our suspects, who fled the business on foot. Fortunately, there were no injuries in this case, and we are asking for the community's assistance. If you have any additional information on this case, please call Crime Stoppers 267-2111 or Detectives 268-4407. Suspect 1 is an unknown black male, 20 to 26 years of age, approximately 5'10", thin build. He was wearing a dark blue hoodie that was clinched tightly over his face, and also dark pants. He was armed with a silver handgun. Second suspect's an unknown black male, 20 to 26 years old, 5'10", thin build, wearing a light blue hoodie, also clinched over his face, and dark pants.
Can you say the 100 block again?
And 900 block South Woodlawn.
So about 9:50 last night?
Correct. 9:50 last night.
Do you know how late that store stays open? Was
I
it the
don't.
closing time?
I don't know. All right, second case is the aggravated battery of firearms, 1500 block of East Arnold. Case number 22721. Occurred early this morning, approximately 6 a.m. On Wednesday, April 11th at approximately 6 a.m., officers responded to a shooting call at a residence in the 1500 block of East Arnold. When officers arrived, they made contact with a 15-year-old male and also his sister. They reported that they were asleep inside of the residence and heard banging on the front door. The male went to answer the door, and multiple shots were fired into the door. The victim sustained one gunshot wound to the leg, and he was taken to an area hospital for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect left in a gray Chrysler 300 or Dodge Charger 4-door. This is an ongoing investigation, and again, we ask if the community has any information to please contact our detectives 268-4407 or Crime Stoppers 267-2111. Suspect's an unknown black male, late teens, early 20s. He had dreadlocks that were pulled back into a braid, and he was wearing a dark hooded sweatshirt and again armed with a handgun. We do not believe this to be a random incident at this time.
Any gang relations?
Not that we're aware of at this time.
Were there any adults home at the time?
Not at the time.
So we have a 15-year-old male, and how old's the sister?
I'll have to get the age for you.
Do they live there?
Yes.
Did they know the person? who
That's still under investigation, trying to determine that exactly.
The boy was shot once in the leg, right?
He sustained one gunshot wound, yes.
Is he cooperating with the investigation?
Yes, he is.
Do adults actually live at that home, though?
Yes.
They do?
Yes. Okay, next case is an attempt carjacking. This occurred in the 1600 block of East Bailey yesterday morning about 7:20. Case number 22472. On Tuesday, April 10th at approximately 7:20 a.m., officers responded to a carjacking in the area of Bailey and Hydraulic. When officers arrived, they made contact with a 55-year-old female who stated she was in her 2001 Pontiac Grand Am warming it up when an unknown suspect opened the door, struck her, and attempted to take her vehicle. A 31-year-old witness saw what was occurring, called 911, and pulled behind the victim's car. The suspect then walked away from the scene. Officers quickly responded and located the suspect, who was taken into custody without incident. The suspect, a 25-year-old male, was arrested and booked into jail for attempted aggravated highway robbery. Great job by officers in this case, making an arrest, responding quickly, and a prime example of if you see something, say something. Thanks to this witness who saw what was occurring and notified authorities by calling 911.
Can you tell us the case number one more time?
22472.
So someone just was in the area, saw this happening, and called police. Did they intervene at all?
They pulled behind the victim's vehicle, and when they did, the suspect walked away from the scene at that time.
By pulling behind the victim's vehicle, did it prevent that vehicle from leaving?
I don't know if it was exactly behind, or I don't know exactly, but he did pull behind the victim's vehicle.
And where was the vehicle parked?
She at the residence there in the 1600 block of East Bay.
Was it in a driveway in the street?
I believe so. I believe it was in a driveway. Yeah.
No weapons involved?
No, just personal weapons.
Any injuries
Minor. Just minor injuries.
to the victim?
Correct.
You said it was a 31-year-old man who
Was the witness?
was
Yes.
the witness?
Mm-hmm. All right, last case we're going to cover today, battery of a law enforcement officer, case number 18C 22555, occurred in the 7600 block of East Kellogg at about 1:30 yesterday afternoon. On Tuesday, April 10th at approximately 1:30 p.m., a Wichita Police Department motorcycle officer observed an individual driving a 2010 Kawasaki ZX6 traveling at approximately 100 miles per hour on Rock Road northbound from Zimmerly and also weaving in and out of traffic. The officer was able to stop the driver of the motorcycle at Kellogg and Armour, and the driver fled on foot. The officer was battered by the suspect while he was being taken into custody. The 18-year-old male was arrested and booked into jail for battery of a law enforcement officer, obstruct, and also reckless driving. So good job by the officer involved in this case and making an arrest.
How fast did you say he was going?
Approximately 100.
And that was on Rock Road.
Mm-hmm.
Were there other traffic charges like running red lights?
I'd have to check to see if there's any other traffic charges. I know we do have battery of a law enforcement officer, obstruct, and reckless driving was the traffic charge we had so far.
So he was going 100 miles an hour on Rock Road at 1:30. Yeah.
Approximately, yes.
Did he have any other warrants or anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
Was the motorcycle officer, was he the one that made the arrest?
Yes.
Was
Good.
there a chase involved?
I don't believe so. I believe he was able to get him stopped. As far as a vehicle chase, there was a foot pursuit as the driver fled from the motorcycle. But as far as a vehicle chase, no.
And what was he booked for again? I'm sorry.
Battery of a law enforcement officer, obstruct, and reckless driving.
Will Wichita Police typically pursue someone on a speeding motorcycle during a chase because that could be dangerous?
We have protocols set up for when we do engage in pursuits. That's located on our website on our policy, so you'll be able to look at that exactly when we do and do not pursue.
Can you once again tell us the individual who was arrested, how old that person was?
18.
So the motorcycle officer, did he turn on his lights and the suspect pulled over and then ran?
The officer was able to stop the vehicle at Kellogg and Armour. And then when he stopped the vehicle at Kellogg and Armour, the driver of the motorcycle fled at that time. Lee, are you saying he's 20? Okay, I'll check on that.
How far did the driver run before the officer?
Not too far. He was taken into custody a short distance later.
What were the injuries to the officer?
He didn't have any injuries. There's none. Anything else? Okay, appreciate everybody being here halfway through the week. Wednesday. Have a great Wednesday.